know that this is a tough time you all are going through. And yes, we have to work on that. We have to face these challenges, right? So what if we get COVID? We get stuck into this deadly disease, then how to come out of it? And once we are out of it, how to get the strength back? So yes, here comes the role of yoga in a big picture. So today we'll be focusing more on the pranayama aspect of yoga, which can be helpful in recovering after the COVID situations if you have gone through, or maybe the hospitalization or home quarantine, whatever the symptoms were, but then you need to get back to the routine. Yes, get back your strength and get back on track, right? So we'll see how to do this through the practices of pranayama. Just give me a second. I'll share my screen here. Yes, all right. So the pranayama for post-COVID care. So as we all know that COVID-19 is something which is very, very severe acute respiratory syndrome. And the long-term effects of this disease are still being studied, and it has been established that it affects our lungs severely. What happens when the person gets COVID? So once the person is in that difficult phase, he feels tired, exhausted, physically, mentally, dangerous, right? So all the time we are involved in that, sometimes, worried for our own self, and maybe sometimes worried for our near and dear ones, right? So how to do different techniques of pranayama which can be helpful. So yes, if you have gone through this phase and you are out of it, then congratulations to all of you that you have overcome that disease, right? So what next to be done? So when you have to get rid of these virus, you need to work more on your own self to get back the strength, right? And it is said that the recovery process can be slow because the person feels immensely exhausted, correct? And what the doctor advises for the post-COVID care, they advise you to have a good food, healthy food, so that it can help you in increasing in your immunity system and get back your nutrition level on track. Here. So besides food and ample sleep, what are the other things that can be done? So these are the yogic asanas and pranayama that can be helpful too. So these techniques are excellent aid during the recovery process because it helps you to gain back your energy level, right? The vitality. See, what happens is whenever we are going through any kind of disease, the prana in the body gets disturbed, right? So when you learn to work on the prana through the different breathing exercises and pranayama practices, it reactivates, realigns the disturbed prana in the body, right? So when we say that the lungs are the main battlefield for COVID, it becomes very much necessary to take care of your lungs. And whenever we talk about the lungs health, we cannot avoid talking about breathing exercises. That is the foremost thing that you can do to get back and take care of your lungs, right? So yes, as we all are maybe familiar with the pranayama practices and we know what are the benefits of pranayama. So the different practices like deep breathing can help restore your diaphragm function and increase the lungs capacity. It can also lessen the feelings of anxiety and stress, which are common because someone who have experienced the severe symptoms or was admitted to the hospital. So, more than the physical level, on the mental level, as I said earlier, that more than the disease, the fear of disease is more dangerous, which develops more of the anxiety and stress in the person. So when you practice this pranayama or the breathing exercises, it helps to reduce the anxiety and stress level in the mind. Correct. Also, because of these COVID issues, sometimes, we feel sleepless. Our sleeps are lost and we are so scared of the diseases, right? Because of the fear and the uncertainty of the status of our health. So yes, the breathing exercises helps you in giving a good sleep. It improves the quality of your sleep also during those tough times. Now, how to practice these pranayamas? So these practices, which are for especially for this post-COVID phase, those are not very, very tough. Those are very, very simple practices, and that can be started during your self-quarantine period, or maybe when you are isolated. These practices can be incorporated in your daily routine. Now, how to sequence these practices? So our main focus for this post-COVID care is our lungs, right? To increase our lungs capacity. Along with that, the focus should be on the other areas which helps in breathing, like our chest walls, muscles of respirations, diaphragm, correct? So all these areas or all these organs should also be considered while doing the practices of pranayama, correct? Lungs capacity is the foremost thing, but along with that, the whole of the respiratory system, improving its function, one should engage in the following practices. So yes, so though the topic for the day is pranayama, still we can't start the pranayama practices. We can't directly jump to the pranayama practices. Before that, we need to prepare ourselves, prepare our body, so that we can regularize the smooth flow of energy in the body. We can be able to sit for some time, steady and stable. So for that, some preparatory practices are needed. And maybe for 5 to 10 minutes, you can do these preparatory asanas, doing some loosening exercises like joint rotations, muscle rotations. So these are the excellent practices to begin with, like different joints, our ankles, knees, hips, spine, breast, elbows, shoulders, which will help in improving your circulation and reduce the body ache. So these practices will help you to prepare your body for sitting for some time for the breathing exercises, right? After the loosening exercises, you can practice different asanas as per your capacity. So if you are familiar with the asanas, or if you are a regular practitioner of the asanas, then maybe you can add some asanas and then proceed forward. So what kind of asanas to be done? So first, one most important thing that you need to keep in mind is that the practice should not be too intense in the initial stage after the recovery from the COVID. Though you must be the regular practitioner, but still in the initial days of post-COVID care, you have to take care that you don't directly jump for the intense practices. Start with the basics and go with the flow. According to your capacity, you can move and proceed further with your practices of asanas. Now comes the next part. So yes, once your body is ready, next thing you have to do is you have to prepare your breath for further practices of pranayama. Correct. So what are these practices? So these are called as cleansing breath kriyas. This can be done for 2 to 3 minutes. Now, these practices include Kapalabhati, especially, which helps in improving your lung functions. It also cleanses your sinuses and preparing you for the pranayama practices. Now, again, here you have to take care that you don't directly jump for 60 strokes or 120 strokes a minute. Start gently, like doing 30 to 40 strokes in 1 minute, right? However, again, here we have to take the care of our physical health. So if the person is having heart issues, slip disc, hernia, or something like peptic ulcer, high blood pressure, then they should avoid the practice of Kapalabhati. Then they can do some substitute for that. So what is the substitute? So for them, they can do a deep breathing practices, either in a sitting position or in the lying down position. Even that can help to cleanse your sinuses and lungs, right? So this is the second option for those who cannot practice Kapalabhati, right? After this, now here comes your pranayama practices. So yes, now you have prepared your body, you have prepared your breath. Now actually you can start working on your breath. So for how long you can do these practices in the initial stages? You can start from 5 minutes and you can reach up to 15 minutes time. Clear? So yes, so here, as I have mentioned, that the best time to practice pranayama is after asanas and cleansing breath kriyas, right? Why to do so? Because it helps, it improves the blood circulation, allowing the oxygen transmission to be done more efficiently, and your nasal passages and sinuses would be more clear, right? So what are the practices that can be included in this pranayama part? So mainly three practices are very, very important for the post-COVID care. The first practice is sectional breathing. Few people call it as yogic breathing also. So where we use our diaphragm, your thoracic region, and your clavicular region. We will be doing some practical of these practices. So just for now to understand, sectional breathing is the first practice that can be done. Next practice is alternate nostril breathing or Nadi Shodhan Pranayam, or maybe few people call it as Anulom Vilom Pranayam. And the third and most important practice is Brahmari Pranayam. So these are the fundamental practices that should be included in our post-COVID care routine. Clear? All right. So yes. Now, what are the benefits of these practices? So see, as our focus is post-COVID care, I have kept it to the simplest of it, not getting into much technical aspects of it, like what are the more technical benefits of doing these practices. So just for our understanding, the simplest thing that we can get from this sexual breathing, it helps in increasing the capacity of your lungs, and it will allow you to know, to get access to your lungs capacity. So when you breathe in and breathe out in these practices, you will get to know like at what point you're feeling breathless, or how long you can breathe in and breathe out, correct? So this practice is important because it helps you to assess your lungs capacity, up to what point you can breathe in and breathe out. So that is the most important part of this sectional breathing in post-COVID care. Next practice is Nadi Shodhan Pranayam. So this practice, it is an excellent practice for your nervous system. So whatever the disturbances you might have got during this COVID phase, so it helps again. So you, as we all know, that Nadi Shodhan Pranayam is a balancing pranayam. So it helps in balancing the prana in the body and balancing our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system again, correct? So yes, this practice is also very, very important in the post-COVID care. Last practice, Brahmari Pranayama. It has got immense benefits in post-COVID care. So this practice is highly, highly, highly recommended. Why? Because this practice helps to improve the oxygen absorption in the body. This practice helps increase the nitric oxide production in the body, which helps in building and repair of the nervous system. So as I mentioned before, that the nervous system gets disturbed during any kind of illnesses, especially in this COVID. So again, it helps in building and repairing of your nervous system. It dilates the blood vessels, which enables more oxygen to be delivered throughout the body. So these practices of Brahmari Pranayama, it helps in more easy flow or more easy circulation of oxygen throughout the body. It also helps in calming and soothing as it reduces stress, and it can help patient remain in restoration mode. So as we all have seen before, that along with the physical imbalances, this COVID creates too much of mental disturbance also, fear, insecurity, correct? So this practice of Brahmari helps you keep yourself balanced, calm during that tough time. And also while in your recovery phase, it helps in creating more of the nitric oxide in the body, which helps in the repair of your nervous system. Now, so these four practices, the cleansing technique, sectional breathing, Nadi Shodhan, and Brahmari. These four are the most important practices in the post-COVID care. And I would highly suggest that keep your practices as simple as possible in the initial stages, right? Because we are in the recovery stage, our body is drained, our energy is drained completely, in that time. So we have to regain it. So initially, do not think of doing too much of kumbhak or
ऑडियो। ऋतुजा जी।
Haribol. Rutuja Mataji, we cannot hear you at all. Although you are speaking, we cannot hear you. So, can you try muting yourself and unmuting again? Or maybe you can leave and join again.
We are just starting in a minute.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, okay. I'm so sorry. All right. Could you could you hear me in all the slides, or you missed everything?
Yeah, maybe you can take us through again of the last two slides.
Okay, okay. I'll do that. Just give me a second. Am I audible now? Okay. All right. Yes. So the last two slides were about the few guidelines that I was giving regarding the practices. So first thing that I said was that you can do these practices ideally in the morning, but these practices can be done before going to bed also and in the evening. So why to do these practices in pieces is that because we are in the recovery phase, and instead of overstretching ourselves, it's always good to start in a smaller pieces, right? So that was the one thing I mentioned. Secondly, that if you feel breathless or uncomfortable and find that you are not yet ready for the practices of pranayama, then one thing that you can do is you can do the proning. So what is proning? Proning is to lie down on your belly and then do deep breathing for some time so that your breath becomes more free and you get ready for the pranayama practices. So this was the one thing that I mentioned. And now we will switch over to the actual practices. So yes, as I gave the sequence. So what we need to do is, we don't directly jump to the pranayama practices. We start with few physical movements, right? So if you are on the mat, please be on the mat. If you are not, then maybe whatever is comfortable, your bed or your sofa, you can do that. We'll be doing few chest opening exercises to begin with, and then we proceed for the cleansing kriyas, and then we proceed for the pranayama practice. practices, right? All right. If at any point you are not able to hear me, please let me know. Yeah? Okay. So get ready for the physical movements. I'll slightly adjust my camera. Yes. So sit in a comfortable posture. Right. So we are just going to do very, very basic movements of different joints and different parts of the body so that there is a free flow of the energy. Correct. So the first practice that we'll be doing is the arm movement. So you are sitting in a cross-legged position. You can bring both the arms besides the body. Try to sit straight, palms facing upwards. And now slowly you have to stretch both the arms up very gently and try to join the palms and give a good stretch to the side trunk of the body. And now slowly exhaling down. Once again, second round, inhaling. So now here we focus on the breath also while doing the movement. So inhaling, you stretch both the arms up very slowly. You have to be aware of every movement that you do. Join the palms and give a good stretch to the side trunk of the body. And slowly exhaling down. One more round we'll be doing. Inhaling slowly. Stretch both the arms from the sides. Your movements have to be very slow and controlled. Join the palms. Keep your arms straight in the elbows. Feel the stretch in the side trunk of the body. And slowly exhaling down. And relax. Now the next practice, second variation of arm movement. So for this, you need to keep both the arms in front of the body, palms facing upwards all the time. And now slowly, you stretch both the arms from front, very gently. And give a good stretch to both the arms. And exhaling slowly down. Second round, once again, inhaling, we stretch both the arms up very slowly. Give a good stretch to the arms. Exhale down. Last round, once again, inhale and raise both the arms. Full of the awareness on every movement that we do. Stretch the arms up and slowly down and relax. Now next practice, third variation we'll be doing of arm movement. So for this, bring both the arms in front of the body, join your palms. And now slowly inhaling, open your arms. Am I audible now? Okay. All right. So yes, we continue with the third variation. Again, bring both the arms in front, join the palms, and now slowly open your arms wide. Stretch the arms to the sides. Give a good opening to your chest. And slowly coming back to the center. Once again, last round, gently open your arms, stretch them to the sides, feel the good opening to your chest. And slowly center. Relax. Bring both the arms down. Now next practice we'll be doing shoulder rotation. So for this you need to bend both the arms and the elbows. Your tips of the fingers on the shoulders. Spine should be erect, neck should be erect. And now we begin to rotate the shoulders in one direction. One, giving a complete movement. We'll be doing 5 rounds. 2, 3. Your movement should be complete. Move your shoulders in the full range of motion. 4. And 5. The same practice in the opposite direction. 1, 2. Your spine and neck should be erect all the time. 3. Do not slouch, sit straight. 4. And 5. All right. Bring both the arms down. So yes, these are the few practices which helps in good opening of your chest. There are many other practices also, many asanas that you can perform like Bhujangasana, then Dhanurasana, camel pose, cat and cow pose. These practices also gives a good opening to your chest. So maybe if you're familiar with that, you can include those asanas in your routine, right? But as of now, we do this only chest opening practices. And now we proceed for the cleansing kriyas. So there are 2 things that I mentioned. First was Kapalabhati. If the person is having high blood pressure or any issues related to the heart or hyperacidity, ulcers, slip disc, then they have to avoid Kapalabhati. They can do deep breathing. So what we will do is we'll do both the practices, right, today. So we'll do deep breathing first, maybe 5 rounds, and then we proceed for Kapalabhati. Yeah. All right. So everyone sit straight. If you are on the mat, sit in a cross-legged position, whatever is comfortable. If you are on the chair or sofa or anything, just see to it that your spine is erect. In a simple cross-legged position, we'll be sitting. Now what you can do is you can just roll your shoulders back, which will give a good opening to your chest. Neck should be erect all the time. And now gently close your eyes. The first practice of deep breathing is very simple. You can just follow my instructions. So yes, keep your eyes closed. Be steady in the sitting posture. Calm down yourself and be in the present moment. Stay connected to your breath. Observe the natural flow of the breath that goes in and that comes out. Keeping the awareness of the breath, we'll now be doing deep breathing around 5 rounds as per my instructions. So exhale completely, and with next inhalation, we begin the practice. Inhale deeply as per your capacity and exhale completely. Again, second round, a deep inhalation and the deep exhalation. Continue 3 more rounds at your own pace. Do not overstretch yourself at any point. Whatever is your capacity, accordingly, you do the practice. 3 more rounds of deep breathing. Slow, long, deep inhalation. Slow, long, deep exhalation. Once you finish the rounds, continue the normal breath and just observe the rhythm of the breath. And now gently you can open your eyes. We'll be seeing the practice of Kapalabhati. So I'll show you the practice once. So as mentioned earlier, that we have to be little gentle and slower in the initial phase of recovery. So we'll be doing a gentle strokes of Kapalabhati, right? So yes, sitting in a cross-legged position with your spine erect. Now you just observe my abdominal movements and how slowly I'm doing it, right? So you can keep one palm on the navel to feel the movement. And now, so here in Kapalabhati, our inhalations are passive and exhalations are active, right? So what we'll try doing is, at a very gentle pace, I'll show you the practice. So I inhale and exhaling, I begin the practice. Clear? All right. So everybody will do it together. For now, we can do 10 rounds of Kapalabhati. Again, those who are having the blood pressure or any other issues, you can continue with deep breathing. Others can proceed for Kapalabhati, right? So you can keep your palm on the navel, keeping your spine erect. Now exhale completely. And with next inhalation, again you exhale and then you begin the practice. So inhale and we begin. Focus on the abdominal movement. Continue. And relax for a while. Inhale, exhale normally. Normal breath continues. Relax the body, relax the breath. So these are the cleansing practices that you can do before starting your actual practices of pranayama. Either Kapalabhati or deep breathing or both. So this can be the sequence, right? So deep breathing first, then Kapalabhati. Now we switch for the next practice of sectional breathing. We'll be doing less number of rounds because of the time constraint, but just for your understanding, we are just doing these practices, right? So the first practice is sectional breathing. Now this sectional breathing is divided into 3 parts. Your abdomen, that is the diaphragm region, the thoracic region, and the clavicular region. So here also, you can see the practice once. I'll be using my abdomen, I'll be using my thoracic region. So you can see the practice. I keep my one palm on the navel, other palm on the chest. Now, when I start inhaling, my abdomen starts expanding. Then my chest expands up to my clavicular region. Correct? So you just observe the practice once. I inhale. My abdomen comes out. Then I continue the inhalation in the chest up to my throat. And then I start exhaling from here. Chest comes down, abdomen in. Once again, you see the practice. I inhale through the abdomen. Extend the inhalation to the chest and the throat. And exhale, your chest comes down, abdomen in. Understood? So we can do these practices together. So sit straight again. Keep your one palm on the navel, other on the chest, spine erect. And now we'll be doing 5 rounds of this practice. So exhale completely. And with next inhalation, we begin the practice. Inhale deeply. Your abdomen expands, chest up to the full of your capacity. And exhale, chest down, abdomen in. Likewise, continue 4 more rounds. Inhale, abdomen out, chest up. Exhale, chest down, abdomen in. Inhale, abdomen out, chest up. Exhale, chest down, abdomen in. Likewise, continue 2 more rounds at your own pace. When you inhale, your abdomen and chest expands the full of its capacity. And when you exhale, the chest contracts and abdomen goes in. One last round, continue. Complete inhalation, abdomen and chest expands. Complete exhalation, chest and abdomen down. Once you are done with the practice, bring your arms down, keep your eyes closed for some time and breathe normally. Observe your breath. If you find any difference before and after the practice, just try to be aware of that. And now, slowly open your eyes. Yes, so this was sectional breathing or yogic breathing, where we are using our diaphragm, chest, and the clavicular area. Correct? So this is the ideal way of breathing, which helps in utilizing our lungs to the full of its capacity. Normally, we are not using the lungs to the full of its capacity, but with these practices, when you get used to this kind of breathing, then it will become normal for you. Breathe deeply, right? But initially, some efforts need to be put to get used to this type of breathing, correct? Now, moving over to the next practice, alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhan Pranayama or Anulom Vilom Pranayama. N number of names for this one pranayama. So as I said, that this practice is basically for balancing the pranas in the body. So it is a very, very important practices, normally also and in the post-COVID care also, right? So again, I will show you this practice once. So yes, for this practice, what you have to do is you have to inhale through one nostril, exhale through the other, again exhale through the first and Inhale through the first and exhale through the second. So for this practice, we are using one particular mudra of the hand. So normally we use our right hand. Now, as you can see the mirror image of me, I'm using my left hand, but otherwise you have to use your right hand, right? So you use your thumb to close the right nostril, your ring finger to close the left nostril. Now you have options what to do about these two fingers. So either you can fold them and do the practice, or you can keep these two fingers at the eyebrow center. It is your choice, completely fine. Whatever is comfortable for you, right? So as of now, I will show you the practice once. So you start this practice with the left nostril and end in the left nostril, right? So what I do is I close my right nostril with the thumb. I inhale through left. Again, the deep breathing, right? So I inhale through left, a long breath. I close my left nostril and exhale through right. Then again, I inhale through right. Close the right nostril and exhale through left. Now this is one round. Inhale left, exhale right. Inhale right, exhale left. This is one round, correct? So we'll be doing such 5 rounds together as per my instructions. So again, sit straight. If you are slouching, then correct your posture, roll your shoulders back, keep your neck and spine erect. And now raise your right arm up. If you want, you can fold the index and the middle finger. If you want, you can keep it at the eyebrow center. So it is your choice, correct? And now close your right nostril with the thumb and inhale through left, a very slow, long, deep inhalation. Close the left nostril and exhale through right. Again, inhale right. Exhale left. This is one round we finish. Second round continue. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Continue 2 more rounds at your own pace. See how you can do the practice. A complete inhalation through one nostril and complete exhalation through the other one. Whole of the awareness remains on the breath only. So inhale left, exhale right. Inhale right, exhale left, makes one round. Always keep this in mind. So once you finish the rounds, your last exhalation will be through the left nostril. And then gently you can end up the practice. Bring your arm down on the knee again. Keep your eyes closed for a while. And breathe normally. Whole of the awareness on the rhythm of the breath. This practice of alternate nostril breathing helps in making our breath more rhythmic and balanced. And now, again, open your eyes, We'll be seeing the last practice today. That is the Brahmari Pranayama. So yes, as I mentioned earlier, this is one of the most important practice, highly recommended. So we'll see this practice once. So as the name suggests, the Brahmari Pranayama, Brahmari is somewhere you create the humming bee sound in the throat, right? So I'll show you the practice once and then we can do it together. So yes, again, sitting in the comfortable position, always keeping your spine erect. If you're slouching, then correct your posture. I'll show you the practice once. Now again, in this practice, your arm positions are of your choice. So you can either close the ears with the index fingers, or maybe you can close the ears with the thumbs and keep the other fingers on the eyes. Or you can just keep the hands on the knees and do the practice. It is again your choice. So yes, now I'll show you the practice with closing my ears with the index fingers. So here we have to inhale deeply. And while exhaling, we have to create the humming bee sound in the throat, right? So I'll show you 2 rounds and then we can do it together. So we close the ears with the index fingers. You all do not close the ears, otherwise you won't be able to hear me. Just now, see the practice first, yeah? So I inhale deeply. And while exhaling, I create the humming bee sound. One more round, you observe. I inhale. And then bring both the arms down. All right. So yes, let us all do it together. Correct your posture. Posture is very important. That's why I'm every time telling you. So yes, keep your spine erect. Now you can close your ears with the index fingers or with the thumb, whatever is comfortable and suitable. We'll be doing 5 rounds of Brahmari. So inhale deeply and exhaling. We begin. So continue 3 more rounds at your own pace. Once you finish the rounds, bring both the arms down. Keep your eyes closed for a while and feel the vibrations of the sound created. Keep the awareness on the breath. Just be in the present moment for some time. Trying to recollect all the practices that we did today. Some arm movements, shoulder rotations, cleansing practices of deep breathing and Kapalabhati, sectional breathing and alternate nostril breath, and the last practice of Brahmari. Contemplate on those practices and see how you feel Now shift your awareness to the breath, the natural flow of the breath, which is more rhythmic. Keeping the awareness on the breath, we'll now end our class by chanting Om 3 times together. For Om, you have to inhale deeply and all together we chant Shanti Path all together. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Externalize your awareness. Slowly rub both the palms against each other. Keep the warm palms on the closed eyes. And slowly we open our eyes. So we end our session here. I won't be taking any question answers in this session. If you have any queries, then maybe you can connect to us on WhatsApp or maybe the contact numbers that you might be having. So yes, thanks you all for joining in and a very, very happy International Yoga Day in advance. Enjoy all the lectures of Govardhan School of Yoga. There are many upcoming sessions in next 3 days. So yes, please attend all those sessions and maybe this will inspire you to apply and implement yogic practices in your daily life. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.